I don't have my glasses on, so I have to go really close to see if it's recording. Okay, when it comes to self-esteem, and if you have troubles with your self-esteem, I want you to ask yourself this. Are you insecure about things that you are at the moment, or are you insecure about things that you've been told you are in the past? Welcome! Hello, this is Molly, and I'm 1/3 of Friendzones. This is a new series where I will be yapping and crafting at the same time. Sometimes it won't be crafting, sometimes I'll actually be actually trying to learn a new skill. Today, we'll be doing keychain making or phone charm making. The whole point of this series is for you to just relax and talk about things in life, things that the other two girls in friend zones, my two best friends, talk about the things that they asked me to talk about. Let's see what Jules has in store for us, because she's the one that sent the request for this video.
I just wanted to ask you some little questions. I really just wanted to know your thoughts on dealing with self-esteem and or finding your place in the world, you know?
Good question. Let's just get into it, shall we? I am making some phone charms today, or tonight, while discussing self-esteem and how we can better find our place in the world. I'm not even necessarily qualified to talk about that, but courtesy of my lovely friend, she has supplied me with the cutest little beads in every single color you can imagine. Get cozy, okay? Make yourself a cup of tea if you want, or a cup of coffee. Whatever calms you down, because it's gonna be a long one. Well, should I figure out what color I want to make this phone charm first before answering that question? Can you even see it? Look at that! So cute! I guess we can just start dissecting the question, right? The first thing, honestly, that comes to mind when I think about self-esteem and finding your place in the world is actually sometimes we put ourselves into boxes and don't allow ourselves to grow. I was actually watching the Moon Knight documentary, The Making of Moon Knight. The actor who plays the villain in the TV series, Ethan Hawke, he said in the documentary that a lot of times we tend to incorporate a lot of our hurt into our identity. That's not a direct quote, but he said something along those lines. And it really stuck with me because that is actually something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with and not realize that they struggle with that. I think I struggled with that growing up. If you guys are by any chance also making a phone charm while you're watching this, I love that. I feel like we're really bonding, but do not follow me, okay? Because I'm definitely not doing this correctly. I think that is probably one of the reasons why I struggled with self-esteem a lot growing up, because I felt like I was boxed into my hurt. And I know it sounds terrible to say, because obviously that's never someone's fault. You can't help that you go through tough times, but you do get to a point where I do feel like you get to choose how you let that affect you, and if you let yourself tie your identity to the bad parts that you experience in your life. Oh, this is cute. Okay. Yeah! When people would say things, I would really take it to heart. Kind of subconsciously followed what I thought society was telling me. I'd forced myself to be categorized. If I was the funny girl, I could only ever be the funny girl. I can't be cool girl or the popular girl. And, like, saying it now like makes no sense, right? Like, why would I even think that? Like, what a juvenile way to think. But sometimes people will say small things and it adds up, and you build this image in your head like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm this, and I can only ever be this. If you watch Materialist, I'm not going to spoil it, but I am going to use a part of the movie that I feel like ties into this. In the film, we follow this matchmaker, right? And this matchmaker, obviously, what do you expect from a matchmaker? How do you think they complete their job? They probably have to look through their clients and tick off a lot of boxes in order to make those matches, right? So that's how she just ends up looking at the world. Things like your occupation, what you do in your life, your finances, your height, they become the boxes that she puts people into. I think it's very easy to fall into that line of thinking. I think especially in the modern day and age, because I think we have so much more, the illusion of more choice. I think it makes people more desperate to, I don't know, find an aesthetic, find a certain core that they match, you know, trying to find something that's uniquely you and uniquely your place in the world. In the context of self-esteem, if you're struggling with self-esteem, consider, where did my beads go? I'm wondering if I should just put random beads as I talk, because I'm so bad at multitasking. So what am I even trying to say? With that being said, when it comes to self-esteem, and if you have troubles with your self-esteem, I want you to ask yourself this. Are you insecure about things that you are at the moment, or are you insecure about things that you've been told you are in the past? It sounds like I'm saying a whole bunch of nothing, but guys, I feel like I'm onto something. Like I said earlier, I became so caught up in this categorization of myself, thinking like, yeah, I found my place in the world and I'm going to serve that. So a lot of time I would stop myself from doing things even though I wanted to try them. For example, I don't even know where this came from. For some reason, for as long as I can remember, I always thought in my head, I'm not good at sports. Meanwhile, I don't even remember the last time I tried in sports. Like, I don't know how I got to that conclusion without even having tried sports. I wasn't, you know, in PE, like I wasn't like the best athlete or anything, or in swimming class, I wasn't a fast swimmer. I took my time, I was very slow, but I would be lying if I said I tried my absolute hardest, you know? Like, I think I just went into PE class thinking, oh, it's PE, this isn't for you. You don't even need to try. Like, I would always see like teams celebrate with each other at the end of games, and you know, they would just look so cool and awesome. And I was like, wow, like how cool of them that they can do that. Meanwhile, I had the same opportunity, but I limited myself. That all came to a head in like my final year of high school, where I basically needed like some form of like extra credit to pass high school. It was part of our diploma, and one of the only things I could do was join a sports team. I joined the football team, aka soccer team, for those of you watching in the US. Guys, I was so nervous. I was like, I had already set myself up for failure as soon as I signed up. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this for the extra credit, and nobody's going to be able to rely on me, and nobody is ever going to say to me, wow, you did so well, because I already know I'm going to do bad. How did I know I was going to do bad? Because I never allowed myself to be good at sport in the first place. It was so rough the first couple of days. Mind you, we've only done this whole thing for like 2 weeks at this point, but I already went to my coach and I said I quit.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad!
He was like, what are you talking about? It's basically like, you just need to keep trying. I don't know what else he said, but it must have really worked, because I went back to training. Can you imagine, by the end of the season, my coach, he did like these printed out awards, and he gave them to certain members of the team, and for me, he gave me the MVP award. It was a printed piece of like yellow paper, and it was just like a kind of like a equivalent of like a Canva design, right, of like an award, and it said MVP to my name. It meant so much to me, and it really threw me for a loop because my whole life I had convinced myself that I'm not a sports person. That was kind of like one of the biggest events when it came to dismantling the way I thought about myself and the boxes that I put myself in. People that I've spoken to in my personal life about self-esteem issues and how they see themselves, and sometimes they'll just say like the worst things about themselves, but it'll be things that like don't actually define who they are in the moment. It was something that was said to them ages ago, or that it was just like an outdated belief about themselves. It's like it's like we have software built into our brains, our belief system, right? And it's like they never clicked update on it, and it was still the belief systems that you had as a teenager. Meanwhile, right now you're like a grown adult, and it's like you can't stay with that same system. It just won't work anymore. I feel like my advice is not working, but I hope it's resonating with someone. But if you do struggle with feeling good about yourself and feeling like you have a place, like you found your place in this world, I would definitely suggest you take a look into your belief system and try to find the origins of the things that you believe about yourself. Because when I looked into it, it was things that don't make sense anymore. My keychain is barely done. Okay, I think that looks really cute. Dun, dun. Guys, the phone charm is done and the yap is done. Some butterflies, a lot of butterflies actually. Oh my gosh, actually pretty cute, I can't lie. So now that the craft is done and the yap is done, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to give some good advice on how to continue your self-esteem journey. It's not linear. Don't feel like you have to get it right the first time. But hopefully I was able to shine a light on maybe some things you might have missed in terms of your belief systems and things like that. I hope this was a nice little chill video for you. Our channel is really committed to making slower paced content for a non-brain rot day. And I hope we at least accomplish that, at least just a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. We post videos 3 times a month from each member of Friendzones. And if you like this video, please click subscribe and like the video if you want to, of course. All right, bye.